Hi everyone, I wanted to make for you a short video because the video that I planned actually for yesterday is still in making. I am working on a half square triangle baby quilt, and the problem with the half square triangles is that it takes a lot of time to, maybe not to sew them, but to cut them and then cut them to size with ironing prior, and I am simply not done yet. But parallel to this HST series, I planned another one with a bit shorter videos designed more for beginner quilters, those videos in this series focus on understanding of texture and actually overcoming the fear of free motion quilting and kind of changing a little bit your perception on this, what makes for good quilting. I am sure that most of the beginners, when they think free motion quilters, they think about people like Christina Camelli or Angela Walters, which are awesome quilters, incredible ones. And then you think about all this floating and gentle leaves and shapes and perfect texture and perfect stitches. And we cannot compare to that because they are professionals. The two I mentioned and so many others, we always compare to the best ones, and then when we see our first results, we are getting shy and withdrawn, and we think we never can be as good as they. But the point is, I don't think we have to be as good as they are. And second, quilting is all about texture and uniform and texture differences. And if you can learn to control that or work with that, you will change the way how you look at your quilting. And today a little bit simply more about that. As you noticed, I like to use back and forth lines to explain different things. And in this first video on texture, I will use just back and forth lines. So I divided my little bit of fabric, because we don't need much to see what I want to show you. I divided them into grids of 1.5 inch large squares, and we will be alternating the back and forth lines, their directions, just first up and down and then side to side. Now, good quilting, it's not about complex shapes or patterns, it is about consistency. And that's why back and forth lines are perfect to learn that. So now I'm filling the line, so I'm switching direction. Don't rush. You can see I'm using my ruler foot because it helps me to keep the 1/4 inch spacing. Between the lines. And let me finish few of those to show you something, how I look at my quilting, especially when I'm not convinced that it's good or that I managed to get the effect that I wanted. Again, why I like back and forth lines. So first, they allow you to learn control of how fast you're moving. You can observe which stitches work best in which direction and how you can adjust to that. And you're learning stability and control of your quilting. So here I would have to go back and forth here because I want to be on the other side. So you can start already learning how to plan your movements, how you adjust the distance between the lines, and most important of all is you are learning to leave your sandwich under the machine in a way that it is consistent, that you can have this uniform distance between your stitches and the stitch lines. And this is a very simple pattern, but it gives amazing texture. And sometimes that's all you need. So yeah, that should be now enough. We can start filling the next row. Always keeping the direction different. We are working kind of like a checkboard now. I like this kind of exercises because I also need exercise. Repeating such simple patterns helps me to understand anew why they look so good and how to use them, how to use this relationship between the change of the directions and the texture and how my quilt looks like when it's hanging on the wall. So more often I do such basic exercises, better I am. And with this simple stitch, with this simple pattern, you can actually decide if quilting is for you or not. And it's not depending on the quality of the quilting, the first one you will make. And I will show you in a moment what do I mean by that. So I'm just paying attention that the edge of my foot is touching the previous stitch, and in this way I'm staying consistent. There is still not enough people that try their hand at free motion quilting, I would say. There are so many people that buy fabric and quilt perfect tops, perfect patchwork tops, but they are afraid to free motion quilt them, and then it's getting also quite expensive to send all of them for long arm quilting, where at least some of them can be quilted at home. And I know many of you have very good sewing machines, which can be used much more than just simple sewing. My bobbin finished. So let me now, right now, this is already in this slide, even it's looking pretty good because you can see that the change of the lines, the change in direction of the lines will reflect the light a little bit differently. So let me now switch off the light and let me put the light from the side. And yeah, so when I'm not sure about the quality of my quilting, this is the way I like to look at it. I am trying to put it in a way that the light comes from the side. So I have, let me show you the setup. I have a little light shining from the side of my quilt. And this is a perfect view now on the texture. And from this point of view, I am not seeing little inaccuracies in my stitches. They are not visible. What is visible is that I have something that appears darker here, you see, and something that appears lighter. It's the same fabric, it's the same quilting thread. Everything I did was changing direction of the light. And it's like magic. It the effect that we see here, it's simply a polarization of the light because it reflects the light that comes from the side differently. But that's what we want to see when our quilt lays on the bed and the sun is setting down, or we have some side light, and we will just see this different scattering effect from the quilt. And this simple pattern makes right now for the great texture. More regular lines will be, better will be to look. But right now, when I'm looking at this now, even if first I had my nose directly here at the stitches and I could see every little inaccuracy here. When I am not sure about the quality of my quilting, I do this. I take a step back. I take a little bit, change the lighting a little bit. I look at this sandwich in the reflection of the mirror, I will get a very similar effect there. Or I take a photo from an angle, very, very low. And then I may see, let me try if I can show you that from different angles. So I'm back in a moment. So I'm back. So what I like to do is I like to take my camera, as a handy camera is enough, and I like to take a picture of it from a very, very low angle like this. And if I can see texture there, if I can see some elements popping up, it means it's a good quilting. Details are not important in this case. Everything what counts here is texture. Once you will get the texture right, you will fall in love with quilting, and you will continue doing that more and more often. Then you will get better, and then every time you will have a moment of doubt, just look at your quilt from a little bit different angle, change your lighting, and then you will see again this magical effect. Look at this 9 patch again. We can see immediately those 4 as darker ones, and then when we are changing, it looks different. Yeah, so it is really nice trick to the how suggest change of direction is making our very simple pattern much more complex and rich in nature. So I hope this little trick helps you a little bit, and then I am back to my putting together my top of my baby patchwork based on HSTs, and hopefully next video will be back to the half square triangle patterns. Talk to you soon. Bye.